Hello, this is Chuck Ridgway, Automation Technology Manager at Horner, here from the Automate Show with my new co-host. I've been looking for a successor and I found him. His name is Owen. How are we doing today, Owen?
Good, how are you?
Great. Oh, I need to give you a little closer so you can hear him. Can you hear him okay? Okay, because I didn't mic him up ahead of time. See, Owen kind of crashed the party, which we love. All right, so you're here with the robotics team, or you're part of a robotics team?
Yeah, the Coding Cobras, we're team 14790, and we do FTC.
Very cool, FTC robotics team. Now, I'm sure you've seen a lot of cool things here at Automate. Give me 2 things cool that you've seen.
One of the really cool things is it's like a wheel, and it like spins around really fast, and it looks like a hologram almost. It's like, it looks like it's 3D, and I thought that was really cool.
Excellent, and you saw that at which booth?
This one, actually.
This one right here, and he is such a good co-host because we're going to do a special segment interviewing Emily Tedder, who's the one who created all the graphics for that. We're going to show that later in the show. Awesome. What's the other cool thing you saw?
I was at a different booth. It was in the Canon section.
Okay.
You put like on this like headset that you held up to your face, and it looked like everything was normal, but there was a car sitting there. And you could actually sit down in a seat and you could like adjust the car, and it was really cool.
I think they call that augmented reality, where you can see your surroundings, but they augment it with like graphics and stuff.
Yeah,
awesome.
really cool.
Well, thank you for being my co-host. Enjoy the rest of the show, and good luck to that robotics team.
Thank you.
All right, very good. So in addition to Owen's awesome segment, we got a lot we're going to cover over the next, 20 minutes or so, including a short little video re-recorded of Detroit. Now, Detroit has a reputation from a few years ago of not being the most awesome place. That's only from people who haven't been here recently. We love Detroit, and we've got a quick video shot by our crack marketing team showing Detroit. Roll the tape. Okay, thanks for that great video on Detroit. This show has been fantastic. The reason we're, showing it live and recording on Thursday is because normally when we do it on Monday or Tuesday, it can detract from all the folks we're trying to talk to live about our products and about what's going on here at Automate. So we tried this a little different this year. Thursday's a little bit of a slower day, and it was the only day Owen could make it, so we rescheduled that. Okay, now a big deal to Horner and a big deal in the United States is the fact that a lot of Horner products, most of them actually, are manufactured in our Indianapolis, Indiana factory. So one of the things we're showing here at Automate is a short video showing some of the production that we do, just a little sampling of the types of production that we do in Indianapolis. So we're going to roll that now. proud of the fact that we manufacture a lot of our products in Indianapolis here in the USA, and we thought it would be a great idea to show that off in that video. So thanks, Emily, for your hard work on that. Okay, now, next we're going to show you kind of a tour of the booth with the demos we have here, but stick around after that because we've also got some interviews with Phil Horner. That's always an adventure. He's our fearless leader. And also with Chris Miltenberger, who is our financial leader and really our chief operating officer. So we've got that coming as well. But let's get right to the booth demos. So let's start on the left side of the booth here. So at the top, we're showing off the largest OCS screen that we offer, which is 15 inches diagonal. This happens to be the XL15 Prime. We've also got a canvas model coming relatively soon, not available yet. And then we have another 15-inch option that we'll talk about in a little bit when we talk about some of our modular controllers. Here in the center, this is where we're highlighting our entry-level micro panel. Okay, so we've got the 4, the 7, the 10. These are great controllers for low-cost machines. They've got 30-ish I/O in the back, digital and analog. Great entry-level product, very popular, very high volume. And then finally here at the bottom of this particular panel, we're highlighting our capability to support I/O Link. And for those of you who aren't familiar with I/O Link, it's a very low-cost, network-ish type implementation that allows you to take intelligent sensors, like this photo sensor here, and in some cases, intelligent actuators like different lighting products and those sorts of things, and integrate them in a very efficient manner. So we've got a 2-channel and a 4-channel I/O Link master that can integrate with really any of our OCS models. And again, I/O Link is becoming more and more popular, especially in the automotive market. So that's what we're showing off here on the left side of our booth. So here in the center of our booth, we're highlighting our OCS 360 cloud service. And we actually have a live demonstration here on the show floor. So behind the scenes, we've got a cellular modem, which gives us internet service. And we have an XLW Prime and a Canvas 7 that are both pushing data, variables basically in the program, to the Horner Cloud, okay? And it uses a special free version of MQTT that's kind of built into the Prime and Canvas products, and it will be built into Micro coming soon this fall. But basically, these units are pushing data about once per second directly to the internet, to the Horner Cloud. And then this browser, okay, has several dashboards, live dashboards, that are displaying that data, as you can see, with graphics and in a textual fashion. And for the show, we're showing the fact that you can update as fast as once per second to kind of highlight the capabilities of these products. So this is all live data broadcast to the web, and live data being displayed from the web. So again, our OCS 360 cloud service, got lots of videos available on our YouTube channel if you need more information. All right, finally here on the right side of our booth, we're highlighting our all-in-one technology as well as our new modular all-in-one technology. So let's start at the top here with Canvas. Canvas is our most capable all-in-one controller, PLC with built-in HMI, built-in I/O on the back, one program to do graphics, one program to do logic, just like any OCS you can buy. But Canvas has the fastest speeds, the highest capacity, and also the best graphics. Now again, Canvas is an all-in-one, which is what Horner is traditionally known for. What we're doing that's really exciting is we're adding to our all-in-one family by creating a modular all-in-one. Okay, this is the Canvas CPU 300, right, which has the exact same horsepower and capabilities as this Canvas all-in-one. It's also an all-in-one, but it's modular. So it has one program that resides in here that does everything, okay, but it has modular I/O, and the display is a component, not a separate HMI that requires a configuration or a program. It's literally a component. And if you take a look at the back here, let me see if I can hold this better. There you go. You can see what we call FPV Link, okay, which is some automotive technology that is used to link touchscreens in your car, for instance, with the electronics that drive them. So there's absolutely no programming required, and you can place up to 3 of these screens anywhere within 15 meters of the main controller here. So this is really exciting stuff. And then down here, finally, we've got our, again, I mentioned this is the Canvas CPU 300. This is the Micro CPU 250. So just like this guy has the same capabilities and capacity as a Canvas, this has the same capabilities and capacity as a Micro, with built-in I/O like the Micro has. So we've got 16 inputs, 4 of which can be high-speed counter, 8 of which could be analog. Okay, so you can have as many as 8 analog inputs here. And then in addition to digital outputs, you've also got 8 analog outputs, 4 that are voltage and 4 that are current. And if this I/O isn't enough for you, just like with the CPU 300, you can add additional OCS I/O modules as well. All right, so that is a rundown of our all-in-one controllers with Canvas at the top of the line and our modular all-in-one controller. Okay, so that was a tour of our booth and all the equipment we brought with us, at least a lion's share of it here at Automate. So as promised, next we are going to show you an interview I did with Phil Horner. Always an adventure, as I said, but Phil gave some fascinating answers to some questions that I had for him. And tune in because he's telling us a little bit about what's coming in the future of Horner automation from a development standpoint. For those of you who believed in the conspiracy theory that Phil Horner and Don Clutterbuck were really the same person, here's video evidence of them at the same time in the same place. So they are, in fact, 2 different people.
Twins, and I'm Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. That's enough for now. All right, I'm here with our president, Phil Horner. How are we doing today, Phil?
I'm doing great. This is the second day, and we've had a huge turnout.
It's been great. It's been great. So one of the big things we've been showing, we're just getting ready to release our modular controllers. We've got our CPU 300, our CPU 250. What has you excited about these products, which seem to be at first glance maybe a little bit of a departure from our all-in-one approach?
It looks like a departure, but the reality is it's all-in-one, just in a different format. Modular solutions to get to where the market is requesting today. They still want I/O on the backplane, but they still only want to have one program. They don't want to have multiple databases. That is where this is excelling.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited about these products as well. You'll see a lot of content from us over the next few months as we launch these products out into the marketplace. Okay, so
this is the magic piece right here. Look at that. That is the display. It is connected with a single cable to the controller, and it is full touchscreen.
Right, and there's no program, no configuration required. Just one piece to add to the system to turn it from a headless unit into a full all-in-one controller. Awesome. Now, one thing you had mentioned was, when we were at dinner the other night, is you had said you thought that these products not only are going to be great for our, our traditional automation customers, but also from those who are looking for solutions from us. What kind of solutions could you see us building with these products?
Well, the first one that we're just about ready to release is the chart recorder. We've had a chart recorder that was kind of limited to 4 analog inputs. We are now expanding that to 16 analog inputs using this powerful little package here.
Right, and we've got some good-sized customers that are really excited about that approach, and we'll be rolling that out before you know it. Lastly,
the OEE. We can't forget the OEE.
Well, of course, yeah.
But it is a different format. This is able to talk up to the cloud and present this data to the manufacturing level with the OEE.
Sure. So the combination of OCS 360 along with the chart recorder, or OCS 360 along with the OEE solution. Okay, great. Okay, finally, this is, I don't know how many times over the last few years I've been asked, hey, when are you going to support maybe Ethernet IP scanner, EtherCAT, that sort of thing. So we've got the boss here. He's the one that can authorize that sort of thing. Let us know what we're working on for the relatively near future in terms of expanding our Ethernet offerings.
Well, we already do Ethernet IP as
an I/O adapter.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But the scanner is where we're going in the short term. We're going to be adding a scanner to this product or to all the products. to allow it to connect up the Ethernet IP devices.
Right, so it can drive an Ethernet IP network. It doesn't just reside on the network. It actually can connect to Ethernet IP drives, Ethernet IP sensors, and actually drive the network. That's what customers are asking for as an expansion of our capability. What do you see happening with EtherCAT?
EtherCAT is the next stop. After Ethernet IP is done, you remember you have responsibility for working on how the network configuration tool is being done.
Of course, yeah, that's on my plate, the configuration details. Go ahead.
Having that compatible with Ethernet IP and EtherCAT,
right.
We've got, again, a standard platform to support all these different requirements.
Right, I mean, really what I've been tasked with is to help the team make sure we have a consistent configuration approach in Seascape, whether we're talking about Ethernet IP or whether we're talking about EtherCAT. So that's one of the things I've been tasked with to help the team with that.
And while sitting on a single all-in-one controller.
Awesome, awesome. Well, boss, thank you for the interview. It's always an adventure when we have the boss on live, especially.
You're just worried what I might say.
Well, that's true. All right, thanks, Phil. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Phil. Always informative and entertaining, I should say. So hopefully you picked up that nugget about EtherCAT that was thrown in there. Good information for those of you who have been asking. Now, a lot of folks are curious about how Horner is handling tariffs, what's going on with the economy, those sorts of things. So we thought it would be a great idea to bring in our business leader, Chris Miltenberger, for a short interview. Here's Chris. Okay, I'm here at Automate with our Chief Operating Officer, Chris. How are we doing today, Chris?
I'm well, Chuck. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
So, a couple questions I have for you.
Sure.
A year ago,
yeah.
I think it was at Automate,
yeah.
I introduced you to our customers
you
via YouTube. Very good.
You did.
So it's been a year-ish?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So how's that gone so far? How's the first year?
So I'll say it's been challenging. Number one, I came aboard in an election year, which is historically a soft economy. And then further to that, usually post-election, you see an economic bump and you see a lot of prosperity. And for various reasons, without going in detail, we just haven't seen that yet. So that in and of itself has been challenging.
Okay.
I'd say the second point is we are very successful, and we've been very successful, and we've been entrepreneurial led. And the business has reached enough mass or enough velocity to where we need to really transition into more formalized business processes, et cetera. But with that comes a cultural change.
Right.
So we're working diligently on culture, getting more formalized, and that's a great thing.
Right.
But it isn't without challenge, right? to go from an entrepreneurial-led organization to one that's more formalized and more kind of codified.
Sure.
But so. Opportunities and challenges, great company, great products, great pipeline, great people. So it's been fun, it's been engaging, it's been educational for me,
right.
And I'm just having a blast. I mean, I sincerely mean that. Yeah.
Great, awesome. So speaking of challenges,
yes.
Obviously any manufacturer who manufactures anywhere, even in the U.S. like us, tariffs have been a challenge, I'm sure.
Sure.
So kind of what's been our approach to those?
So our approach has been, and everybody knows, there was less than clear communication and less than clear strategy when they were first announced.
Sure.
And that really continues to this day. Our approach has been to share in the pain, if you will.
Right.
So we didn't pass through all, and we didn't pass through contribution margin on those tariffs.
Right.
Our position was we knew that our end users, our distribution base, and Horner needed to share in the pain.
Right.
So we kind of came up with a calculation that did that. It kind of shared the pain, if you will.
Sure.
We wanted to come out once. We wanted to be firm. We didn't want the volatility of multiple pricing changes or multiple announcements. We've got some praise for that.
Good.
And then most recently, and this will be a task after Automate,
right.
We've recently seen maybe a break in the U.S.-Chinese talks.
Right.
So we may need to revisit that, and it will only be positive in terms of reducing what we did pass on.
Sure.
I will say strategically, it's kind of, and we've been fairly insulated. So we have duplicity in our supply chain, so we weren't as affected as maybe some of our competitors were.
Sure.
But it does raise once again the need to kind of look at our supply chains, make sure we're insulated against future volatility.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so finally our last question. As our business leader,
Yeah.
I know you pay attention to the economy. What's your outlook for that?
So this is not original thinking on my part. I'll say most economists have recently revised down or in a positive direction. There's less fear of a recession.
Good.
We've seen a lot of change with the new administration.
Sure.
It's manifested in uncertainty.
Sure.
I think those policies and practices are either one, becoming more certain, or two, people have just resolved themselves that they have to keep living, we have to keep working, we have to keep producing.
Right.
So I think we'll see stability in the second half. I don't think we're going to see, as we historically do, the very, very strong post-election economy.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be recessionary. I think they're calling for GDP to be in the 1.8, 1.9, maybe approaching 2 range.
Right.
So I think it's just a flat, steady second half without the fear and the angst of economic policy.
All right.
So again, not stellar, but positive as compared to the first half of this year. So, yeah.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Chris,
Thanks,
again
Chuck.
for
I
joining me.
appreciate it. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care. Okay, thank you, Chris, for that enlightening answer for us on the economy and how we're handling tariffs. You know, as automation professionals, sometimes we get caught up in the technical. We can't forget the business side of things as well. Okay, now if you missed my co-host Owen, who is with me for the Open, one of the 2 things he thought was the absolute coolest here at the show were the signs that we had at our booth. And everybody else agreed as well, because we got a lot of traffic because of that. So next is an interview I did with our own Emily Tedder, who put that thing together, all the videos, everything else to make it happen. Let's watch that now. Now, if there's something that has been a hit at this show, it's these signs. So one of the things we need to do is get people to slow down and have a conversation with us about the products that we make. Some people are a little bit shy, but having these signs, they get curious and they slow down and take a look at them. So Emily Tedder, all right, she's the one, our marketing team member that's responsible for all the graphics on those. So let us know, how do those actually work? What are those?
So these are LED hologram fans. So there's 2 fan blades that go across, and they have LED strips on each one.
Right.
And just with whatever speed that they go, you upload MP4 files to an app that comes with the fan.
Right.
Whatever device that you're connected to has a Wi-Fi connection for each fan.
Right.
And you just upload video files to that. You can design whatever you want and add whatever you want to.
And it just plays the video files one after the other, you know, depending on what you've uploaded to. Okay, very cool. Yeah, when you look at these things when they're stopped, it looks like an X with all these little LEDs on there, and it just paints the picture as it goes around. Very cool. Now, I've noticed that on some of the graphics, we have like 3-dimensional models of some of our products on there. Where did you get those files from?
Those came straight from our engineering department.
Okay.
3D drawings.
Oh, right. So whatever design tools they had to design that part or that product, they just put it in a mode that kind of makes it rotate and create a video file, right? Awesome. All right. So if we could have had those for sale, we probably would have sold 100 this week. But at the very least, it got people into the booth. Thanks, Emily. All right. You know, it's so funny that no matter how Emily or myself tried to describe how that sign worked, the absolutely best description was from our man Owen, who was my co-host, a young man in a junior high robotics club, maybe. He just gave it, he nailed that description of how that thing works. So go back and watch the beginning if you didn't catch that earlier. Okay, so that wraps up our content for today. Now, we had an awesome time in Detroit. You know, I'm from Michigan, so I am biased, but I encourage you to come to this show next year in Chicago. And when it's back in Detroit, do that again, because it keeps getting bigger every single year. Now, part of loving Detroit is I love my Detroit sports teams. I'm a huge Lions fan and Tigers fan, have been since I was a kid. And for once, the Tigers were in town this week. So as we head to our closing, I'm going to show you a short clip of the game-winning hit last night for the Tigers game that we attended. And then we will see you next week at the normal time, Tuesday at 2 o'clock Eastern, as we go back to our standard technical content. Thanks, everybody.